Hello and welcome to a special edition of Our Voices. I am Oriane Itangishaka. On today's show, we'll hear from African women who are using technology to better their lives and their businesses. It is part of an exciting new multimedia series called Startup Africa, co-produced in cooperation with our affiliate partners, Channels TV in Nigeria, City TV in Ghana, KTN in Kenya, NBS in Uganda, and RTV in Rwanda. The series focuses on tech startups across Africa. But what is tech startup and how do you make it work? Here's what some people told us.
Startup, for me, I understand, it's where you want to start up a business. You come up with a plan, an idea, maybe where you want to have your business and what you want to do.
So startup is like when you are starting your business or an idea that you have and you want to put it in practical way.
Definitely you have to address a particular need. You have identified your market and you've seen a niche, so you have to bring into your startup to fill that gap.
The startup phase is when you have dreamt of an idea to be able to solve a certain solution in the community. You bootstrap the process, and then you get to the point where you have a viable product or viable service that you're showing to people. Once you're making an impact in the lives of people, you're solving a specific problem. That, for me, it's just the beginning as a startup.
Uganda technology and skill consultant Ruth Musoke Benzika has some of the answers.
For anybody to have a very successful startup, first of all, you must have the vision, the courage, and the ability to know that you fall, but you can raise up. If you don't have that, it doesn't work. Because, if you're starting up something, you are beginning from scratch. You're trying to reinvent something that probably has not been done before, and a number of times you're going to get people who will tell you it will not work. Some will tell you it is not possible. Some will tell you it is not of this time. And it means that you really need to have that strength to say, this is what I want. You need to be able to see far more than what other people can see.
Catherine Karimbo Gichungi had the courage to say yes. The Kenyan entrepreneur launched her startup, Raid and International, to help people in the informal sector better advertise their skills and find more work. Here's her story.
Redund Directory is an application that is available on Android and enables informal sector to be seen on the internet space. It's an application that delivers all skilled workers, both informal and formal sector, onto the internet space. So they're able to be seen on the internet. Data is bigger than oil. It's what will enable us now build an informal sector bank that enables us alleviate the problem of the betting and the loans and all that. And when we are looking at employment, we'll be able to source and enable counties to solve the problem of unemployment, because we have a business model that targets both employing the informal sector and also building the jobs as we speak. So right now we don't know how many nurses in our county in Nairobi. We don't know how many electricians are in Westlands Market in Kamukunji. We don't know how many people are panel beating the pans. We don't know, but this platform will be able to give us that information and that data to help them better, give them loans, and data is everything right now for the government.
I've been leading directory from around 2015. I choose to go to ladder. Just open the phone, open the app, then Google what you want and get the assistance.
So working in Nigeria, I met several other people. There was Dangote, there was Dr. Mike Adenuga, I've worked with Dr. Chris Kirubi. I could see them coming from humble backgrounds and making it big and impacting the society in a very, very big way. I'm trying to use technology, and I'm not telling them to self-register or download an app. They have no time, they don't have the kind of phone, and they don't have the money for data. So I'm going to them. I've devised a way from what I learned from my time in Safaricom and M-Pesa to be able to use that know-how to go out to the villages and form a network of agents that bring the informal sector to the internet space. So for you to become an agent, you have to have the passion to go out there and have the passion for the informal sector. So our agents are created on the back end of our system. So there's a business model. We are able to structure the fees. So we started with $2 to 200 shillings, so that is shared within the agency structure. So we recruit you, for example, and you become an agent. So you are an agency, and you are able to add 50 school Form 4 leavers under you, up to 100 if you like. So that creates instant employment, and it's Africans to change Africa. It's us Kenyans to do something. So I'm just doing something.
I work for Redant as an agent. My work basically involves going to the street, looking for new service providers. We register them so that they can acquire more customers through our online platform, that is Redant Directory. So far I've been able to register 7 people. If I'm registering a customer, that is a service provider, you just pay 200 bob, which goes to the company through the pay bill, and that's all. You'll never pay anything else.
I want to join Redant Directory now so that I can spread the tattoo art. I choose Redant Directory just to spread, to get more market. I've interacted with some of the people on the directory of Redant, and the feedback was good.
Funding is not, it doesn't come easy. So I've funded using my other consulting services. So once I get some money, then it goes into funding the building of the code. Redant Directory is not yet profitable, so hopefully we will be a big brand. But everyone is trying to get into the informal space right now. We have a saying at Redant Directory: the fact that Ronaldo is a very good football player does not stop Messi from playing.
It's time to take a break. When we come back, we'll go to Kenya and talk to a female entrepreneur about how her insurance startup has changed her life despite the financial hurdles and organizational stress of her new business. Stay with us.
Being part of Our Voices is about more than just sitting here and talking about women's issues. It's about listening to them
and bringing their opinions to the table and making sure their voices are heard.
Because our lived experiences, our stories, and our voices will help shape the next generation.
Welcome back, you with Our Voices. When Ines Maina launched the Kenyan insurance startup Bismart, she learned that being an entrepreneur changes your life. Despite the financial difficulties of starting any new business, she says that her approach to life is now simpler. Let's look at her startup journey.
When I got into insurance, I discovered there's a lot of friction between insurance companies, insurance agents, and customers. And every day I kept asking, why, how can we reduce this friction? Because customers would complain. I get to know that I was not covered when there's a claim. And the insurance, from their point of view, they have given all the information through a policy document. So I needed to understand what is the real problem. Most of the young people have their income is not consistent. So how do we enable them accept insurance as a risk mitigation solution to their financial issues? And also, how can they access it hassle-free, conveniently, and at the comfort of their mobile phone?
Working with Bismart, I think I've loved their services. I don't get to deal directly with the insurance company. I deal directly with Bismart, which makes my work so easy because I just need to sit back and they'll handle everything else. We're in the digital era, we are in the 21st century, and things can be done in a better way. Things can be done in an easier way. So you find that if we have the startups that are bridging the gap, then it just works out very perfectly for the rest of us, yeah.
The problem we are solving is actually in the insurance sector. The penetration of insurance in Kenya is very low. And actually, in Africa, apart from South Africa, most of the African countries, the insurance penetration is very low. Now, when you look at the demography of Africa, we have a very young population. You know, median age, 19 years old. And the insurance has been selling the same old products, the same way, same distribution channels, but then it means they cannot access the current customer. My lifestyle has changed. It has become simpler and easier. You see, when you're employed, you're a bit extravagant because you see, you know that every month there'll be more money, and so you can spend as much as you can because there's more money coming. And of course, the things that drives you when you're employed are different from what drives you when you're an entrepreneur. When I was quitting my job, I thought that when you quit job, you need a big office, many employees, so that then that's a measure of success. Look at today, I think different. It's how lean can I scale my business? How can I scale my business without increasing my costs? So those are the things that I look at. One of my biggest challenges was the funding. When I was quitting my job, I had estimated that my savings would last me for 2 years. And before the end of the year one, the finances were over. Yeah. The other challenge was, you know, you start this journey, you need a team, you need people who will believe in this dream, not because you're paying them a lot of money, but because they are here, they believe in your vision. And in 10, 15 years, we hope to have democratized insurance. When I say democratization of insurance, whereby it's an open market that anyone can get in and get, you know, whatever products they want. And how we do that is that we're building an infrastructure that will be able to connect customers and insurance companies and, you know, existing social, African social groups and institutions to all be able to pull their risk together. Our expenses were quite high. So I would lower the cost of running the business, start small and with the customers, you know, designing with customers one by one without thinking of before scaling. I think the first one was to quit my job. That's very important. There is no worse decision. Yes, because even that decision has really taught us a lot. So I would say, for me, it's not about whether the decision is good or bad. It is a decision has to be made at the time it needs to be made. My mantra is, whether it is right or wrong, make the decision. You will learn the lessons as you progress.
Launching a startup often means finding investors who are willing to fund your vision. Here's what consultant Ruth Musoke Benzika had
to finance a startup business. It's so hard. There are very few people who are able to do that, but there are people who are able to say, okay, if I find a very good idea, I can be able to put in some money, buy shares in the company. I can be able to be, there are some, they call them business, they are angels that are willing to say, okay, yes, angel investors, I'm able to invest in such a business. Sometimes it could be from your family. If you're a young person into tech and you go and talk to your brother and talk to your mother and say, mommy or daddy or brother or cousin, this is what I want to do, but I need you to give me a hand up. Give me some money to start. They are willing. Young people don't have a lot of capital. They have not yet built a lot of networks. And a number of times we are saying, start with a small core team. So we advise young people, startups, start lean, start small. Start small, but knowing where you want to go. The moment the business keep on growing, keep on filling the core strategic areas and the core positions for your business.
Uganda entrepreneur Hilda Asimwe says the core goal of her startup Digital Health Access is to improve African healthcare in bringing patients closer to doctors through a digital health network. Here's her story.
My name is Hilda Asimwe. Digital Health Access connects health service providers and professionals to patients through a mobile phone. What patients have to do is go on the app, check for any doctor they want to talk to, and consult or book an appointment. I actually started it in 2013 because of my mother. My mother developed a rare disease, started swelling all over the body. So we went to see a doctor, but the doctor gave us some painkillers, but the lady was really in pain. The whole night she was groaning. I searched the whole of Google, but I couldn't get anything. So it came to me like, what if I had these doctors, as many as possible, on a platform where I could chat with them? I woke up one morning and I quit my job. And I got a developer who I sat with in his house for the next 48 hours until the website was up. So that's how I started Digital Health Access.
For a unit like mine, which is a specialist unit, it's not a general unit, it's not like people walk in all the time. We want Cornerstone to be seen over the whole country. And even in our sector in Uganda, health is not advertised. We can't advertise ourselves. Then there's this digital health access, which comes in that we can link patients to the specialists, and that means also it brings in the issue of trust, that maybe the patients trust digital health access to do all the due diligence on the facility, on the specialist, so that when the patient goes through digital health access, he knows I'm going to get value for money, I'm going to really see someone who's a specialist and not a crook and what. And young people have a challenge, they fear hospitals. It's very hard to see a teenager just walking, and sometimes they suffer with these diseases and they don't know whom to talk to. This is the time to use the app.
Accordingly to our analytics, Google Analytics, actually more of our visitors are between the age of 18 and 28. So, and according to our analytics still, the most questions are asked about sexual reproduction. So I think we are more helping the youth in this case, because they're the ones who normally shy out to ask these questions in institutions. So they look at us as the easy solution. I think the most challenge is spending every saving I've ever worked for the last 30 years on this company. We put almost everything. I even sold even my car that I had got from my previous work. It gets tougher, but the good thing is that every call from a client makes it worthwhile. Every time you have a hospital registering and someone telling you we have an appointment, it makes it worthwhile. But as a company, success is when I have every small clinic, every small pharmacy, deep village accessing digital health access to anyone, even those that cannot afford a mobile phone. I would love to have a system that connects the whole health system in Africa in one place. And I'm very sure in the next 5 years, we're going to be having the most interactive health forum. We're going to be having the most visited site.
Asimwe says she learned the hard way about starting small.
The hardest decision I made is to fire my 7 salespeople. The next day I came back to office and I was all alone. It came back to the lady does not know what she's doing when she was closing me out. I was like, I'm going to be the most important person in the next 3 years. And I may even buy this building one day. I know it is not easy, but vision never dies.
It's time to take another quick. Welcome back. You're watching Our Voices. The ongoing coronavirus pandemic is changing all of our lives. Here's how the virus has impacted some of the entrepreneurs in our Startup Africa series.
Man, it has hit us hard. COVID has put everyone in a very difficult situation.
Never experienced anything remotely so cataclysmic.
Transport tech startups have been affected negatively.
I'll say the biggest thing that is
the economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic is still unclear. And that uncertainty is bad for capital markets.
The business is, since the lockdown, it's been lower than, it's been on survival mode.
People are fearing health facilities because they think they might actually be at risk of getting COVID-19.
We are obviously uncertain times, but we've brought our company closer and our team closer together and forced us to really focus on what is important.
It's very important for you to have your own courage to say, yes, I'll make it no matter what. And even when I fall down, I'll raise up and walk and move ahead.
While most companies are losing business during the pandemic, analyst Ruth Musoke-Benzika says tech flexibility gives it a greater adaptability.
For me, I think that COVID has actually created a lot of opportunities for people in the tech sector. You can see that people are now more open to online meetings. Instead of coming to meet, people are able to go online and meet. People are more accepting to technology before, at whatever ages. You are now seeing more people who are able to say, okay, instead of going to a market, I would rather go online on an app and I'm able to order what I want.
The co-founder of Nigeria's Helium Health, Tito Ovia, says coronavirus is having an uneven impact across Africa startups.
We've seen from the healthcare tech industry like I'm in, there have been many innovations, many telemedicine solutions, contact tracing solutions that have come up to be able to help and fight the pandemic. However, fintech companies have actually suffered, during this point in time as, a lot of them make their money through, businesses and processing their payments and aviation. Agri-tech as well might have also suffered in the time because, again, can they really now be able to reach the farmers that they need to? So it really depends on what tech industry you're in. Healthcare, honestly, I would say is booming, but we might find that definitely others have been suffering.
For Ines Maina, the economic impact of COVID-19 is reducing demand for insurance through her Bismarck startup.
The year had started very well until when the lockdown was announced. We actually had to close our office to cut on costs so that we can keep the business on survival mode. And insurance is luxury. We saw a decline in number of people who are buying new policies. So basically we were maintaining the old customers and some of them had to downgrade just to cut on the cost. However, it should be the other way because people need to protect themselves against the risks that face them. But that was not the case.
Ruth Musoke-Benzika says innovators prosper by aligning startup strategies with changing market conditions.
For innovators, this is your time. Use COVID to innovate, come up with solutions. If you have a very good solution, I am sure you will always find a funder. Importantly, keep your integrity. Once you have integrity and you have a good innovation, the sky is the limit.
That's our show for today. Thanks to our Startup Africa co-production partners, Channels TV in Nigeria, City TV in Ghana, KTN in Kenya, NBS in Uganda, and RTV in Rwanda. Look for the whole Startup Africa series on the station broadcasting VOA programs, including this station, or visit our website, voanews.com. Thanks for watching Our Voices. I'm Orion Itangishaka.
This medal has been directed to empower 1,000 persons with disabilities in each state in the next 12 months.
We now start hearing the shoot of guns.
Whatever I have done.
Every public policy has winners and losers, and some will not be very happy with you, while others, usually the silent majority, will be quite happy.
For me, I wanted to change that culture. I didn't believe that until you see a white man or you see a foreigner in the kitchen before you can believe that, you know, good food is going to come out of that kitchen.
You can leverage on each other's spaces and, you know, sell. We believe in Nigeria, right? We believe that Nigeria can get better. We, the youth, are the ones that can make it better.
And my products are proudly made in Nigeria.
Made in Nigeria, showing every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. and repeats on Saturday at 8:30 a.m.
Hello, it's Plus Reports, where we bring you some of the stories and events that made the news recently. And just in case you missed out on some of them, don't worry, we've got you covered in this edition. Welcome, I'm Jacinta Ubiuku. We are starting off on this report where Canadian High Commissioner to Nigeria, Kelvin Tuka, the Canadian Navy, say they are happy to partner Nigeria in patrolling our waters for safety measures and security. This cooperation is particularly necessary in the Gulf of Guinea to achieve common goals. This was part of the deliberations during their visit to the Western Naval Command headquarters. They were on a custom visit to Flag Officer Commander Rear Admiral Yakubu Wambai. PlusTvAfrica's defense correspondent, Destiny Momo, has more.
This visit of the Canadian Navy to the Western Naval Command was auspicious as it marks 60 years of close relations which began in 1962. They will also patrol our waters and partner the Nigerian Navy in conducting exercise Obangame process. The Canadian High Commissioner and Canadian Naval Commander spoke on this mission to Nigeria.
They are in the region to participate in the exercise Obangame Express alongside the Nigerian Navy and regional and international partners. And the purpose of the exercise is to strengthen cooperation in order to improve maritime safety and security in the Gulf of Guinea, where, of course, Nigeria plays a key leadership role. I think, you know, the value of these operations, these exercises, is to, you know, improve communication between naval allies, naval partners, so that we can better work together, so that we can share lessons learned, and really build a stronger foundation for addressing some of those peace and security challenges that we face.
The jetty and Apapa is being greeted by a large contingent of the Nigerian Navy personnel, and then being treated to O Canada played by the Nigerian Navy Band was a special treat. This is our third visit, our third stop in our deployment so far to West Africa, and by far this is the warmest and most elaborate welcome we've received. So I'm very pleased to be here in Lagos, Nigeria, with my counterparts in HMCS Moncton and our task force of 90 sailors in the 2 ships.
The flag officer commanding Western Naval Command spoke on the importance of this Navy-to-Navy and nation-to-nation exercise.
So the visit today is for us to foster that relationship that has been existing in the past 60 years and to see how we can take it to better levels. We've been existing and cooperating together. Have we done well? It's a yes. Can we do better? It's another yes. And that's why they are here. We'll continue to interact with them, the defense attaché here, and His Excellency, the High Commissioner, will continue to interact and see how our navies can get the best out of each other.
The courtesy visit did not come to an end without the usual practice of gift exchange. This visit is from 25th to 28th February as the Nigerian Navy plans on having more Navy-to-Navy trainings and interactions. Once the seas are safe, it brings about enhanced economies among nations. Destiny Momo, PlusTvAfrica.
On military training, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, has enjoined personnel to develop spirit of professionalism and accomplishing assigned mission within a joint environment in defense of Nigeria. General Yahaya said this during the closing ceremony at the First Chief of Army Staff Combat Platoon Cross Country Championships 2022. Details in this report.
Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, who was represented by the Corps Commander of the Signal of the Nigerian Army, Major General Abiodun Owolabi, said it is pertinent for personnel to step up all aspects of combat readiness in line with global best practices. General Owolabi said this will effectively assist them to confront contemporary adversaries and carry along other personnel in the platoon. He added that the championship will go a long way in refocusing the prospects of the Nigerian Army personnel towards capacity building.
Let me urge you all to note the objectives of this championship, which, among others, include improvements in your combat proficiency, leadership skills, organizational ability, fitness and endurance, teamwork, and above all, esprit de corps.
Speaking on the security situation in the country, Major General Owolabi urged everyone to be more conscious and support the agencies in the area of dissemination of information. The chairman of the local organizing committee, Brigadier General Ernest Orakwe, said that the competition is designed to strengthen troops' endurance to enable them thrive in the current difficult operating environment.
Thanks to you for your show of professionalism, esprit de corps, and sportsman spirit throughout the competition.
In any competition, there must be a winner and a loser. For the winning formation, I once again say a big congratulations to you. And to the losing teams, I want to encourage you to go back to the drawing board and make adequate preparation in order to excel during the remaining training activities.
Highlights of the event included presentation of trophies to the overall winner, the 82 Division of the Nigerian Army, and 2 Division, which emerged second, and the 6th Division in third place.
This next report is on 2022 budget. A bill seeking to amend the 2022 Appropriation Act has killed second reading in the Senate. The bill seeking to amend the 2022 budget by making provision in the sum of over 1.6 billion naira for capital expenditures and over 43 billion naira for recurrent without increasing budget deficit has killed through second reading at the Nigerian Senate.
President Muhammadu Buhari, in a letter to the National Assembly dated 10th of February 2022, underscored the need to remove all capital projects that were replicated in the 2022 Appropriation Act. He disclosed that 139 out of the 254 projects in the budget, totaling 13.24 billion naira, have been identified for deletion. The president also requested that an additional provision for 2.557 trillion naira be appropriated by the National Assembly to fund the petrol subsidy in the 2022 budget framework, which was revised to provide fully for PMS subsidy. Leading debate on the general principles of the 2022 Appropriations Act Amendment Bill, the Senate leader, Senator Yahaya Abdullahi, gave key highlights of the amendment to include 11 areas such as funding to cushion the impacts of the recent suspension of the petroleum motor spirit subsidy removal and addressing the adverse implications that some changes made in the 2022 Appropriation Act could have for the successful implementation of the budget.
Permit me to lead the debate on this very important bill, which seeks to amend the 2022 Appropriation Act in the sum of 161,499,052 naira for capital expenditure and 43,870,532,044 naira and 44 naira for recurrent expenditures without increasing the budget deficit.
Contributing to the debate, Senator Gabriel Suswan bemoaned the high tax expenditure in the 2022 budget.
Recall that while we're debating the general principle of the 2022 budget, I raised the issue of the tax expenditure, Mr. President. Tax expenditure are waivers that are given to individuals or companies. Mr. President, if we look at the tax expenditure in 2022, is about 1 trillion. And it is totally unnecessary. So it is not just what the president has sent here. Let us consider those areas that can help them save money.
President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawal, after the bill scaled second reading, referred the same to the Committee on Appropriation for further work.
2022 Appropriation Act to provide for a total sum of 106,161,499,052 naira only for capital expenditures and 43,870,592,044 naira only for recurrent expenditures and for other matters connected there with 2022 second reading taken.
The committee was given 1 week to report back to the chamber in plenary.
As the one-month warning strike embarked upon by the Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU continued, students may have to wait longer to return to class. PlusTV News correspondent Paul George was at the University of Lagos, UNILAG, where he spoke to some students who are still on campus. The students have called for an end to the impasse between the federal government and ASU for the sake of their future.
Activities inside the University of Lagos were scanty as academic activities are still grounded, and evidence are locked up lecture halls. Students gather in groups, perhaps discussing what the future holds for them as the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, continues its one-month-long strike, which has entered its third week.
The thing is, most of us just resumed because UNILAG merged two sets together. And most of us, like me, mass communication, I'm meant to spend 4 years in school. But because of this strike, I might be spending like 5 years. I hope it's not up to 5 years. So I feel the government should just do the needful.
I got admitted to UNILAG 2016-17 session, and right now, this is 2022, I'm still here. Should have been done last year, October. That was the estimated time for me to finish. But here I am, still here. I feel like ASU is not asking for too much. 1.3 trillion is not even enough to fund education, really, but just to start. So ASU is not really asking for too much. The government should just, do what's the next way as a government.
Since I just got in, I've not really had any experience with it, but for other students, I feel it's a setback for them. I mean, their mates, they would have gone forward in school, they would have progressed a lot, but this ASU strike is a setback.
At Julius Berger Hall, members of ASU UNILAG chapter meet with the chairman, Dele Ashiru, from the prying eyes of the media. After the meeting, Ashiru insists that the union will not shift ground except the federal government accedes to the union's demands. He speaks alongside another member of the union.
ASU don't take money from government, and ASU don't receive money from government. So we don't know what he meant by giving money to ASU. Well, this meeting is to sensitize our members about the strike, encourage them to remain resolute as long as government is unwilling to accede to our demands.
Because he has all the details. But what I do know is that these monies they are quoting as being given to ASU were not given to ASU members. They were for the university, to the university management, to use to improve the facilities on campus.
While no one knows when the impasse between the federal government and ASU will be resolved, the worst hit in all of this are the students, as their academic future hangs in the balance. Paul George, Plus TV News.
It's time for a short break. We will be right back with more. Thanks for staying with us. Now, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps NSCDC Rivers State Command has reaffirmed its determination to end oil theft in the state. The commandant NSCDC Rivers State Command Abu Tambo disclosed this during activities to commemorate the World Civil
as a gift in the protection of critical infrastructures, national civil